Hello everyone, it is Dmitry. You're on the course Getting Started with Analytics and Data Engineering, and this lesson is about different data roles. And I will talk about some historical roles that we had in the past, and they transitioned into modern roles name. And also, we'll try to pivot the roles to this framework, and this should make sense for you what kind of roles you want to be, and maybe it's not even like covering in my course, maybe something else like machine learning engineer or like product manager, but you will understand the role and the duties. And also, you always need to remember about the value that you as a data professional generate for the business to make happy those folks, because they will decide many things, and especially how the organization will be successful. And you know that based on the data, always could be make really good decisions. So, what roles we have? I will start from several groups of the roles. So let's start from like roles for this layer, right? Traditionally, if we look like 20 years ago, even like there were role that calls BI developer. So with BI developer, it means this person works with BI tools. He knows how to build the dashboard. He understands what self-service BI means, how to make really interactive dashboards, how to work with stakeholders, collect the requirements, how to build semantic layer, what's dimensions, what's the measures. And basically, this role is working like here. So we can say that it's responsible for this. And of course, it's really beneficial for this role to know a bit of how the data is processed, how the data is stored, because for those folks who wants to build the dashboard, they definitely need to be able to query the data and able to find the right tables. But they can just collaborate with data engineers who build the infrastructure. So, and it has many different alternatives. Another one, let me try to get another blue. So another one could be BI engineer. So for example, in Amazon, where I spent 5 years, the BI engineer is the person who doing like similar as a BI developer. But the word engineer usually means your compensation is higher than the work as an analyst. So, and in some organizations, they don't use the BI developer or BI engineer. And I remind you, the BI stands for business intelligence. So the more frequently you can see the data analyst. Data analyst role, and it could be also product, different flavors, like product, marketing, and finance. It could be also sales, RevOps, and like different kinds of analysts. It doesn't really matter. It is they usually here, and they work with the data, and they can grab the data even not from the data warehouse. They can directly access those systems, because even doesn't matter what role you have. You in many cases you need to directly access this data to validate, or to see the changes, or to collect the requirements. So those the roles. In sometimes you can see the roles like legacy. It's like data developer, or different flavors of developers, or could be SQL developer. Yeah, this group usually works here. So now let's talk about folks who works in data processing and the storage. and they usually are responsible for infrastructure. So, and this is the open question, because my personal opinion that folks who work on, like data engineers, for example, works on data, on storage and data processing, they should be responsible for infrastructure. It means they should know DevOps, they should know networking, but often I see some responses from my colleagues that, or friends, or like my member in community, Surfalytics, that, you know, like we never do this work, it is for DevOps. So one thing you need to learn, you should never tell that it's not my job. And even if it's not your job, just tell you that you have slightly, like, you don't have really good experience in this particular topic, but you actually want to improve and you're learning this topic. And especially in this case, if I told you DevOps is important, and it's not just that important. I specifically invest my time to build the Model 0, to highlight the Docker, CLI, GitHub, some basic DevOps things like continuous integration pipeline in GitHub, or pre-commit. Those things is important because those things will drive the quality of analytics solution, and also it will give you credits for your resume, for your experience. Just take it as is. And if you in this field, good to have. If you in this area, must have. So let's writing the Fox. So the modern name of the profession who doing data processing and storage is data engineer. Myself, I started to work as a data engineer back in 2016. Then I was hired by Amazon. I applied for BI engineer role, but they assigned me data engineer role, and my job was to build the data warehouse in Amazon Redshift. And that time data engineer role wasn't that popular. So, and I even didn't know what does it mean, because traditionally the people who works with the data pipelines, with data integrations and data warehouse, we call them ETL developer. And right now you can still find lots of data jobs with the title ETL developer, in some cases ETL engineer. And for you it means that this role will work with legacy tools and technology. It could be SAP, IBM ETL tools, SAP ETL tools, SAS ETL tools, whatever we have, Informatica, so maybe Microsoft Integration Service that's usually in many cases on premise, in some cases it could be in the cloud, but just for you to know that they're very similar. So there is another job they're doing similar things like ETL developer, but if ETL developer 100% doing work on data warehouse, big data developer also was very popular job, then was rise of Hadoop. Big data developer will work on data lake, and usually it's ties to Hadoop, and usually it's on premise. You still can find the jobs, especially in the big enterprises like big data developer or big data engineer. So one more name is, it could be data integration developer or engineer. And it means that they're responsible for this thing. So who else we want to highlight? We want to highlight also interesting role that quite popular, maybe last, 5 years, analytics engineer. So it's interesting role now because it's like between those folks and those folks. And honestly, my perception of this role, this is the person who knows DBT. and Snowflake or similar like Redshift and Looker. So, but if you see analytics engineer role, if you don't know what's DBT or Snowflake, Looker, don't worry. The model one is not about like all those vendors, because in the future models we'll fill the actual tools here, the actual tools here and here, and we'll learn those things. And on Surfalytics, we're running almost every week the projects there. We build something similar, close to real use cases. So the analytics engineer, I would put it I would use this dot line. But usually it will cover the BI part to build the dashboards. They have, but because it's engineer, they will have good knowledge of GitHub, CLI, maybe a bit of knowledge of cloud data warehousing, like optimization. And they usually not build like infrastructure, because what is DBT? DBT is a framework for the SQL. So as soon as the data, you extract data from the source systems and put it into your data warehouse, you can start writing SQL. So analytics engineer, the person who can start writing the SQL and create the fact table or different kind of things. So they can apply the business logics into SQL transformations, and DBT is a like framework to standardize your SQL things. And it's actually very good. I personally work with this for last almost 4 years, and it's really powerful thing, and it's easy to start. So the hint for you, if you want to start with the data warehouse projects, the fastest way to build one, yeah, it's not free, but you're using Snowflake, you're using something like Fivetran to extract the data from everything, all data going into Snowflake, and then you use DBT to model all your data, and you hook like any BI tool you want. Because for BI tool, but my personal choice, I like Looker, because it helped to leverage the GitHub or other Git version system where you have all your metrics, all your code, all your metrics as a code. And maybe Tableau, because I just used to work a lot with Tableau in the past. And by the way, for those folks, very often it's not just build the dashboards. Don't forget, you need to actually administrate the BI tool. It's creating the users, it's install the patches, and make sure that if you're running a Tableau server or Looker server in your own infrastructure, you have enough free storage, enough memory, CPU, and so on and so on. So that's important. Okay. Another person we can highlight here is, I will use Black for ML. Or there is also a bit unclarity what's happening, because the very traditional, this not working. The very traditional approach for those roles, let's put it here. So it is data science. Maybe 2011, then I worked back in Teradata. So Teradata was the main competitor of the Oracle for analytical data warehouses. And it's still on the market, but now everyone prefer like the cloud native products. Teradata also available on the cloud, but unfortunately, this product not that on demand, and only huge, for example, customers like enterprise company, for example, among S&P 500, they still running like Oracle or IBM Netezza or Teradata because they don't have the choice. So they invest so much money, and for them it's cheaper to continue to operate and run those legacy technologies versus moving to the cloud. But anyway, so data science, and I have so many different stories about the vendors, about the roles, about interviews, anything. Ask me any question. Data science. Okay. Data science, data scientist. So it's starting from data scientist. You might think that it's starting from data scientists, but it's actually not. If we look to 90s, there was the role data mining. So data mining is the term, very old term, and actually it's a kind of means the same as a data scientist. So the data mining specialist So, and you can think about the product as, for example, IBM, I think it's IBM SPSS. They're like statistical package software, and the data mining specialist is the person who actually doing this supervised and unsupervised learning with like regression or decision tree. So, but right now, everyone calling themselves a data scientist. And for me, the data science position, don't want to spend much time right now, but is a bit vague in terms of definitions, because one thing is very important, and this is very, very important for anyone who's starting learning. So, sorry, I need a bit of break from the topic I talk, but I just remember this, and this is a good time to mention this. So imagine plumber or electrician. So then you think about plumber and electricians. You clearly understand what they're doing. You understand what tools they're using, and also you understand what value they can instantly generate. So if you hire an electrician, they're professional. They might be certified. They come to your home. They do the job, they leave. So everyone happy, you pay to them. That's the same I can say for the data engineer or BI engineer. They have the specific skill set, they have the specific tool set, and I understand, and the organization who hire understand their value. In many cases, I hope they understand. So, and everyone happy. So for person who works as a BI engineer or even data analyst or data engineer, because you understand your value, you understand how you can drive the value for the organization, you know a bit of business domain, but what you need to actually know how to take all this data and pivot into this. You know your stuff, like either here or here, you know your stuff very well, and the people who hire you, you know what to expect from you. So you can drive the value very fast. For data science, for data scientists, is a bit of like, it's like umbrella. It's like AI, at least for me. Yeah. I could be very biased with my own experience, but I just see many people, they make mistakes. There are so many different courses for data science, programs, course, and they lack of context. So as a data science, you can learn, okay, how to build regression model, how to validate the quality of like your F1 score, like your I don't know, false positive, true positive, I forgot the name of this matrix. So many things, but it's very hard to apply your knowledge into organization that they hire you. And that's the biggest challenge. For example, on the other hand, like I like the job for machine learning engineer. Machine learning engineer, they have more narrow scope. And usually if you hire machine learning engineer, you have to work for them. So it means they will code something, they might use the data from here, they might use data from collect to here, they will write the package or the application that will run machine learning pipelines. They have some knowledge in the infrastructure, and they know their job. Machine learning engineer for me is like plumber or electrician, the same as a data engineer. So they know what they're working. And as a result, for you, then you learning the job, the narrow scope you have, it's like Pareto principle, like you need to focus on 20% to drive the 80% value. The data science is very challenging here, because it's very hard to identify what's your 20% that will drive 80%, because some organizations, they hire data scientists, but they actually need data analyst with statistical knowledge to run A/B test. Someone expects that you will build the machine learning pipelines, but you have data science title. On my project in Amazon, I work on Amazon.com website, and my team, it was customer behavior analytics team. They run the machine learning model to put the main banner on Amazon.com. Like then you open Amazon.com, you have this big banner. So they basically run the model, and they're showing different customers different banner based on their history of purchase and so on and so on. So the data science, they usually did like lightweight job, but they work close with software engineers, they work close with research scientists and actual machine learning engineer. So, but they were like lightweight folks who doing like a bit of analysis, maybe work on different features, but they didn't solve the hard problems. So, and those three like positions, I think right now it's like AI engineer, but as you know, AI is more like umbrella, so it's hard to define what AI doing. And I bet in the next 5 years, we really redefine the skill set for like BI engineers, data analysts, data engineers, and machine learning engineers. With how fast you see OpenAI, generative AI LMs growing, it's 100% it will change. I don't expect it will replace us, because first of all, if artificial intelligence will replace all the jobs, it's not good for like economic of like, I mean, if all the people will stay without job, what they gonna do? Like, right? Are they going to grow like farms? Maybe like everyone has the chicken on the yard, the goat, the cows. Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to go in debates about this, but the one thing I know, even now, like the landscape is a bit changing. So at Surfalytics community, I really try to be on top of everything through, like, for example, Databricks provides lots of trainings on their open source LM model. I think it's I forgot the name, but they have open source the model. Google provides training. So my personal goal is to be able to decode the new knowledge and apply this to the same framework. So how it will influence. But it will take definitely time. So, and obviously this group of people or roles, they're responsible for this one. One more role that I want to highlight is a product manager. So, and the product manager, it's like, by this I mean the manager who can manage the data team. And there are different organizations that choose the different pattern, how they want to lead the team. For example, product manager, it was really popular in Amazon. I on all my projects, I work with the product manager. And usually the product manager is non-technical person, really understand what should be done, what the business value we're gonna deliver, and then he can come to myself as a data engineer or the machine learning engineer or BI engineer to explain what should be done, and we work together as a group to deliver the value. In our case, then I used to work for Alexa. It was really nice time in Boston, Massachusetts. And what was there? So we worked the data products, and data products is the same as the dashboards. Like we use Tableau, we build the Tableau dashboards, interactive Tableau dashboards to measure different Alexa features, to help internal product managers to measure, like they launch new feature, or is the pipeline that collects all the Alexa data, and we extract the data that's meaningful for us. And like, again, we get the data, and we build the systems that can help to drive decisions about the new features for Alexa. And we also measure the quality of Alexa, how well it interacts with the customers. So the product managers make the priorities for us, and we do the job. In some cases, it could be head of data. In some cases, it could be director of data engineering, or depends on organization. If it's huge organizations, each of the team, like data engineering, will have their own like manager, senior manager, director. Analytics team, machine learning team, they have own and down to the VP. So it just depends on the size of organizations. But it's worth to mention that there is also should be someone who manage this. And also interesting thing to mention, maybe it's too early, but usually there could be two things. In some organizations, they have core team, like they have core data team who build the single data warehouse, and they use the single BI tool with the set of dashboards, and then they train the power users to give them more access to maybe query the data. But this is just the core team. If the organization is very big, they can practice like embedded teams. So it could be a core team who, for example, build the central data warehouse, And then there are other teams, they can build their own data warehouses or data lakes, they can use their own BI tools, and they will use some of the tooling that we'll build for them. For example, I used to work in Microsoft Gaming. We have the huge data lake with all Xbox data, and we will pick up the data we need. I used to work in Amazon. There was like the central data lake that you can extract your data and blend it with the data you generate in your org. So, but that's it about the roles. Thank you, everyone.